everyone, and welcome to Sky Talk Show. So, I'm your host, and today we will be understanding how EV ecosystem works. And for the same, we have here with us our business head, Ms. Suchishmita Sahu. Hi, Suchishmita. It's great having you here.
Hi, Ashmita. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and talk about something that's not just transforming mobility, but also creating entirely new economic and skill ecosystems.
True, and seeing how the EV ecosystem is evolving, it's important actually to understand to talk about the same, right? So let's begin with the basics. When we talk about EV ecosystem, what exactly are we referring to?
Okay, that's a great place to start with, first of all. So when we talk about the EV ecosystem, we are not just talking about, uh, about the car or the bike that run on batteries. We're talking about an entire value chain from R&D to manufacturing, charging infrastructures, diagnostics, and aftermarket services. So you've got battery design, you've got management systems, controllers, embedded electronics, simulation software, and of course, skilled technician and engineers who are who understand how all these come together. So it's not in one industry. It's a combination of mechanical, electrical, electronics, and software domains that are working in sync. So every component matters.
True, true. That's really enlightening, Suchishmita. And while we are on the same topic, let me ask you this question. Like, with everything moving forward so fast, how do you see India being in the global transition?
So currently, India is in a very promising position. So we have support from government schemes like FAME and PLI, massive demand in two-wheelers and three-wheelers and logistics, and a growing number of startups that are working on innovative mobility solutions. But the gap that we see every day, especially while working with institutions, is the lack of skilled manpower. So that strong need for hands-on cross-functional training. So student know the theory, but they need to understand the practical. They need to have the practical exposure to real-time tools and hardware. So this is where the Center of Excellence, like ours, play a big role. We are here to fill the employability gap here.
Okay, okay. So you just told us about the Center of Excellence, right? Can you just throw more light on what exactly the Center of Excellence of yours do in this space?
Right. So our role is very focused. We are building lab to bridge the gap between what students are taught and what companies actually need. So we design learning programs that align with what the industry needs at this moment, like battery pack assembly, motor testing with dynos, diagnostics, EV service platforms, and simulations using digital twin models. So we also bring in our industry network startups, OEMs, and tier one suppliers to co-design content and create project pipelines for learners. At the end of the day, we are here to ensure students who are job ready, not just certificate ready.
Okay, so you have mentioned industry partners, right? Can you let our viewers know more about who are these industry partners? What are their role in this improving this EV ecosystem?
So that is one. Of course, we believe that unless industry is a part of the training ecosystem, the gap will keep growing. So we collaborate with OEMs and tier one suppliers to co-develop content, validate our lab tools, and even offer internship paths. So on-the-job training. Some partners help with faculty training, others offer project mentorship, and many co-brand our certification to ensure credibility. So for students, this is huge because they're not just learning in isolation; they're being trained the way companies want them to be trained.
Right. So you are basically bridging this gap between like between what was there earlier in conventional method and now you were completely trying to replace that with the new one. Okay, okay, that sounds great. Okay. So talking about your center of excellence, like how is it exactly? Do you follow one size fits all or do you like customize it according to the requirement?
Okay, so we are actually quite flexible. Every institution has a different budget, audience, and academic ecosystem. Some college wants advanced R&D labs, other ones job-ready training for ITI and diploma students. So we tailor everything from the equipment to the training calendar to the hand-holding support we give to faculty. So it's a co-creation model, not just plug and play. And one of the top priorities, we don't stop at teaching concepts. Every module is designed with job roles in mind, whether it's EV technician, whether it's battery pack assembler, or BMS diagnostic engineer. We expose students to tools used in actual service centers, using simulators to mimic faults, and even conduct mock assessments with industry HR teams. We also work closely with placement partners and OEM to map our entire training outcomes to real vacancies. So not just hypothetical ones. Yes.
Right, right. Like it's important in how things are getting changed very frequently. It's important to adapt to that. Right. So, where do you see this entire EV skilling and center of excellence thing going ahead in next 5 years?
Honestly, I see this expanding massively. So we are already seeing interest not just from engineering colleges, but also from ITIs, university, even CSR arms of companies who want to build, future-ready talent pools. So over the next 5 years, I think we'll see more micro centers in rural regions, and more focus on batteries recycling and AI energy systems, and stronger PPP models where government, industry, and academic collaborate. So if we get the skilling part right, India won't just be market for EVs, will become a global hub for EV innovation and marketing or manufacturing as well.
Okay. Okay. So, since we have come to the end of our session, I would like to know what is one advice or trends that you would suggest the young professionals or youth to watch out when they are going to follow in AVM.
So a few things learners should watch out for. Embedded systems like CAN, Auto SAR, ISO 26262, vehicle to grid technologies, AI for battery analytics, and light weighing in EV design. So, but more than tools or trends, my strongest advice is don't stay in silo. EV is not a either or field. You need to be multidisciplinary, someone who understands enough about hardware and software, more like more like a T-shaped professional. So when we talk about T-shaped professional, they are the generalist with one deep skill. So that would be something I would strongly suggest students or individuals to move ahead with.
Okay. All right, Suchishmita. It was really nice having this discussion with you, and I think it's really important for the youth to learn how where the industry is moving forward. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.